What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with Pressure Wash Help, king of pressure washing. I'm not quite as king as this guy over here is. He's been around for a day or two. He's been around probably longer than anybody that I know in the pressure washing world. And I don't know why I'm getting feedback. But again, so this is something that we're going to talk about some marketing. We're going to talk about some quoting. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. And so this is something that I think marketing and quoting is probably the most important thing about pressure washing. If you think that you can make a business without those two, you're wrong. Or if you think you're going to be successful without one or the other of those, you are wrong. So, again, tell me who you are and where you're from, Mike.
All right, guys, my name is Mike Vidan. I live down in Savannah, Georgia. My company is called All American. We've got a couple different divisions. We've got a pressure cleaning business and we've got a property maintenance division. But we're here to talk more about the marketing and quoting, which is something that we've really done a lot to build our business on.
So, do you have any family, kids, stuff like that?
I do. I've got an amazing wife, high school sweethearts, started dating when we were 16. I've got an 18-year-old son who we just dropped off at college last Sunday. I've got a 16-year-old daughter. I've got a 13-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter.
You got quite a range there. You got quite a range.
Yeah, so if anybody needs any pressure cleaning, then just call me because I need that money.
College isn't cheap, is it?
No.
So what did you do before you started pressure washing?
So I've been in sales my entire professional career. Got out of college. I went to the Citadel in Charleston. It's a military school. Got out of school, went into outside sales for a commercial carpet manufacturer, did that for several years. Then I went to go work for Georgia Pacific, which is a sizable company, Fortune 50 back in the day. Same thing, doing outside sales. I did a little bit in the manufacturing side of the business as well, just to get a little bit more well-rounded, thinking I wanted to climb that corporate ladder, but decided not to go that way. Have always maintained a professional job, a white-collar type outside sales job. But about 18 years ago, and I'll also say that entire time I've also had little side businesses, nothing that was significant, but there was always something going on. I've done clothing, like apparel. I've owned a custom motorcycle shop. We were one of the few licensed motorcycle manufacturers in the state of Georgia, meaning we could assign VIN numbers and people could get insurance on these bikes. And this was back when Orange County Choppers and Jesse James were all on TV, so we kind of capitalized on that. Saw the writing on the wall with the economy that took a dump back in 2008, 2009, and we're able to get out of that relatively unscathed. But the way that I started this pressure cleaning business, or I came into this pressure cleaning business, was the gym that I would work out at. I'd met a couple guys and we would go really early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it was just a core group of guys. Probably one of the wealthiest, most successful people that I know was one of these guys. And he kind of took me under his wing as he was my mentor. And, we'd talk about things, we'd talk about different businesses. And another guy that worked out with us in the morning, he was in the finance world. But every once in a while, he'd come in and he'd be wet and dirty. And, I said, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he'd go, "Oh, man, someone didn't show up. And so I had to go pressure wash a bunch of restaurants downtown and some sidewalks and dumpster pads." And I thought, okay, that's weird, but, okay. And one day, on a whim, he's in the gym and he goes, "Yeah, we're moving." And I'm like, "Oh, where are you going?" He's like, "Virginia." And I said, "Oh, well, what do you?" No, I don't know why I asked this, except it was a question that was meant to be asked. I said, "What are you going to do with the pressure washing business?" And he said, "I don't know. I'll probably just sell off the equipment." And at that point, I think he was probably grossing around 40 grand a year. So, nothing to blow your skirt up, but still a decent business. And I didn't think much of it. My mentor says to me, "This is all you." He goes, "You're always tinkering. This could be something with your background in sales that you could take and grow." And so I started to think about it. And I come home and I tell my wife that I want to buy a pressure cleaning business. And she looks at me and she says, A, what do you know about running your own business, which is true, and B, what do you know about pressure cleaning, which was nothing. And I told her that, my mentor told me that this is something that we needed to do, and she said, pull the trigger and do it, because she had the same faith in him, and I guess in me, that, this could be something.
Right.
And it's proven to be a pretty good little conversation at the gym that morning.
So when you started the pressure washing business, was you financial just there and ready to go, or was this something that you did your other job for a while and then did the pressure washing?
Oh no, I continued my other job, and that, which is, I know a lot of guys do that. They maintain one job and build with the pressure cleaning job, or the pressure cleaning business. And so I was fortunate enough to have that stability, a salary, a bonus, a car, all these great, great advantages to working for a big company, but also able to build and learn and grow. And it was a huge learning curve. And I've made every single mistake, bought every piece of equipment and realized that it was junk. For the first 15 years, I'll say. I mean, if
shiny syndrome, or shiny what you buy everything new that you think that you need and you don't need.
Absolutely. And so, some of it works good and some of it didn't. Right. But live and learn. And
when was it that you bought your business, and then when did you actually go full time?
I bought the business. 2001. And essentially it's been full time for me ever since. Gotcha. I've still maintained a corporate position, still do, but a lot of guys play golf, they go fishing. My hobby is building these businesses. Right. Multiple income streams is in my opinion critical. Especially, I've got 4 kids.
Yeah, so you got as many income streams as you can at that point.
Exactly.
So what is the best way to get customers after 20 years? What is the best way to get customers? Is it still to buy ads in the phone book and get the biggest page, or?
I've done all that, and I've had big ads, and it's cost me a fortune. And I'm so happy that the Yellow Pages is now defunct, because you young guys are so lucky, because advertising today is so cheap, if not free. Old guys like me have spent thousands and thousands and thousands. I've done everything from radio ads to TV commercials, billboards, and all those things. I don't know if it was vanity for me, but again, that's something else that I think is one of the downfalls of so many people, is vanity. And everybody likes to have a big jacked up truck with a wrap and a fancy trailer and all that. And that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, I don't think that makes the phone ring. I mean, that's just my opinion.
You mean that $30,000 rig don't make the phone ring? No way.
I see a lot of $30,000 rigs sitting and collecting dust while my guys are out running around cleaning stuff. And it's good, because I'll eventually pick it up for pennies on the dollar. And
and that's, I know it's sad, and it is true, 100% truth to that. And that is something that I, like I say, I'm not, I see it all. I see it. They'll have a $30,000 rig and won't put $500 in marketing. And it's like, right. I would rather put $29,000 in marketing and $500 in a rig and see if you can get some business.
Yeah. And that's huge. I've always thought that the marketing and the sales side of the business is the most important aspect. And I don't mean to, diminish anybody's skill, but ultimately anybody can learn to pressure wash. And obviously there's a lot of different methods, and it's taken years and years for my company to get to the point where, we've got good systems in place, we've got great equipment, and we know how to do these things. But what I always say is, I'm not selling pressure washing. I'm selling a customer experience. And what I've learned, and especially with technology as it is today, that people are busy. People have got children, they've got jobs, they've got stuff to do after work, they've got hobbies, they've got life.
Kids.
Yeah. The most important thing that I can sell is the ease of doing business. Making it as simple and streamlined as possible is the most critical thing, and the thing that I've worked on the most. And we've got some great systems in place for marketing, for quoting online, things of that nature. But I've also had years of experience and building a customer base through all those things that we talked about, yellow pages and billboards and everything else. But I've laid the groundwork, and if somebody's going to call us, it's because they want to do business with us. And I think, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of guys talk about, going and doing in-person quotes and selling this and letting them see your equipment and being in your company shirt, which, I'm a big fan of company stuff. But I think that the ease of business in today's society is one of the biggest selling points that we have. From the initial quote, or like, I've got a call center, so every call that comes in goes to a call center. They collect the data that I want, which is a name, an address, a phone number, and an email. And we'll talk on those two things later, because that email address, in my opinion, is one of the most valuable pieces of information that you can collect from anybody. And so then I get the information, what the service is, and the call center's got a script that they follow to get the information. And when I get that text, I'll hit the little phone number and I'll send them a text. And on my phone, just to streamline things for me, you can go in and, if you, like, I push ZZ and it says, this is Mike with All American Pressure Cleaning, Window Cleaning. We can do your property for X amount. And, let me know if you'd like to get on the schedule. Probably 75 to 80% of the time, they say, absolutely, let's book it. And then I go CC on my phone, and it goes, thanks, you can schedule here. And there's a link to our scheduling software, and they can schedule everything online. And as much as it will upset some people, zero interaction with the customer. But we're booked out for weeks and weeks and weeks. And right. It sounds bad, I would rather not talk to a customer and schedule, and then everything from there, down that downstream from there is pretty much automated, with the exception of work.
Now, do you have somebody asked the question, what CRM do you use? Do you have your own, or do you?
I've compiled a conglomeration of things over the years. On our website, we use Responsibid, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest pieces of technology software that's come to our industry in a very long time. Kurt is a genius. Kurt, thank you. It's made things so much easier. And so that's our main thing. Our scheduling software is called Full Slate, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's very easy to use. There's an app. And so, customers can get online. They're not allowed to, they can schedule, they can't make changes. That has to come through us. And then, of course, we use QuickBooks for all kinds of.
So basically, you're just using Responsibid and then using QuickBooks on the other side. You're using the other one to schedule then.
Yeah.
So you're not using no special CRM. Are you holding all your emails in Responsibid, or are you dumping them somewhere else?
Well, so every once in a while, I'll dump all the emails that have been collected in Responsibid into Constant Contact, which is, how I do my email marketing.
How far? So I love Responsibid. I agree with you 100%. That is probably the best thing out there. There is a link down below, but that, I don't even care if you use the link or not. That is the best one that I know around. I always preach packages, and packages do work, and the follow-up, the follow-up of it is where the key is.
Oh, the follow-up is, we've gotten more business from those follow-up emails. And also with those is, I'm sure everybody does, they set up, an 11-month follow-up email just saying, hey, it's been about a year. And down where we live, there's so much humidity and heat that people are getting their houses washed once or twice a year. So it's, constantly staying in front, reminding the customer, hey, don't forget about us is if it was me, I'm ADD bad. So I'm all over the place. But that responsive just makes everything it does a lot of work for me that I don't have to do anymore.
Yep. And it is work getting it set up. Don't think it's easy to set up, because it is work to get set up.
It is.
I know it, and I helped set up one for another guy that came to one of my classes, and it took me about 24 to 30 hours to get the stupid thing filled out and where it needs to be. And it wasn't even 100%. It was like,
right.
Responsive is one of the things that, it works, but it's a thing in progress. It isn't just something that we can set up today, because we might change something or might do something later.
Oh, we tweak it all the time. Pricing depending on the season, pricing depending on specials that we're running. So it's it's a great utility or a tool for us.
Gotcha. We are hearing Jason's from mic speakers. I was wondering if that was backfeeding, but I don't know if I can.
Okay.
Let's see if that works. That works better.
Okay, good.
Nope. Yeah, that is better. I don't know 100%, but it is better. So, all right. So marketing is very important. I love marketing. Yeah. Marketing is very important. Tell me. So you said you used a lot of signs. What do we want on these signs? Do we want like every service we do and everything in as small lettering as possible?
No, and I've seen your video and it was spot on. I've done one as well. It's on my channel. But you need it to be as simple as possible. You've got a very finite amount of time when you're dealing with these signs to capture someone's attention. And I know you're not supposed to text and drive. Everybody's on their phone. If you're at a stop sign, you're on your phone. You're not engaged. So if somebody does happen to look down and see your sign by a stop sign or the entrance to a neighborhood, then you want it to be as simple and concise as possible. And one of my biggest things that I think is you have to have a call to action. I get a lot of feedback when I say that, because I'll do something like starting at $99 or $99 per 1,000 square feet, base it on a per because I know over the years what my target is. And so people say, that's baiting and switching or, clickbait, whatever you want to call it. I don't. I've got black and white signs. It says house wash. It's got a price. It's got my logo. It's got my phone number, and it's got my website. Website is simple, clean Savannah. And I put that on there just because I think it's relatively easy to remember. But I want it big enough to where if someone does go, hey, I need my house wash, they'll take their phone, they'll take a picture, and hopefully they'll call us.
Yep, absolutely. So what's been the best way to get customers for you?
So I've done everything that you could possibly do. I've done magazine ads. I've done the yellow pages back in the day. We've spent a ton of money on postcards, and postcards are good. I don't send them out. I'll have like some of my kids' friends go and they'll hit certain neighborhoods, and when we're very precise in how we're targeting, because your ROI on those things is not great. But if you're targeting a specific area that is your target audience, your customer base, then you have a higher percentage rate. So, I'm very, we're very precise on where we're going with those. But where I see the biggest, we've been doing this for a very long time. So probably 50% of our business is repeat customers, 50, 60, somewhere around there. People move, so you lose some of that, but repeat business is one of our biggest things. Like on Responsive, you can say, where'd you hear about us? And that's one of the things and it's repeat customer. And I love to see repeat customer because I spent zero money acquiring them. But over the past probably 3 or 4 years, with the exception of Google Ads, I do not spend a dime on marketing anymore, with the exception of signs and, uh, postcards. Everything is either
Yeah, but
social
even
media.
that, I'm going to hold a second. But those are postcards. But you're not doing EDDM or nothing like that. You're using them for 5 rounds, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
amen. And that's one of my big things. And it'll get back to the marketing thing. I talk about fives a lot to my guys, to everybody else. And it's kind of how I start every day. We live busy, crazy lives, and especially if you're running your own business, and if you're an owner operator, it's even worse because you're doing everything. And I can appreciate that. But so I get up in the morning, I make my coffee, take 5 minutes for me, kind of just decompress, think about things. Some people pray, some people read devotionals, which I do. Some people meditate, but just take 5 minutes for yourself, decompress. I've got a good buddy named Scott. Scott cleans it. He's been on your show.
he's on here tonight, right now.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's got a great channel, so everybody needs to check that out. He's really putting out some good content too. Kind of his journey starting up a window cleaning business that evolved to a pressure cleaning business, but just a good dude. He lives about 2 hours, probably 2 hours north of us. But so 5 minutes for yourself, just to kind of get things focused and centered. And then I take, and I'm using five just because it's easy, but I take about 5 minutes to create content. And it's simple. It's on Nextdoor. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook if you do that. All these different free platforms to engage customers. 5 minutes. All of my texts, they take before and after pictures at every single job. Sometimes, your house isn't that dirty, so you don't get the quality pictures. But when you do, and if you get enough of them, you've got weeks of good content. Just throw that out there.
But wait a minute. You actually have to take before and after pictures. And this is part of marketing. This isn't,
Yes.
A lot of people be like, because they'll be like, I screwed something up. You got before pictures? Oh, I forgot to do that.
Right.
That's part of marketing, guys. Get that in your head. The before and afters isn't just to cover your tail, it's also part of marketing. And that is very important. If you're starting out new and you think, oh, I gotta hurry up. Marketing is marketing, and you got to do it. Get those before and after pictures, and because there's another thing that he did on his channel that was very good. And if you check out his channel, it's actually a playlist of a bunch of his videos. But he talks about Google, and these before and after pictures. Guess what? We can use them in Google My Business, and Google My Business is an amazing thing when we set it up right and we do it right and get it going.
Absolutely. And I was just about to say, because I left that out on that 5 minutes, to do that, because Google is, I'll do an update on the channel, which is the same picture, and I'll add a pic to, the photo gallery. And I love it when the little notification pops up on my phone and says, you've got 25 new views on your Google. That means it's working. And Google takes that into account for your local SEO. The more you interact on Google, whether it's responding to reviews, every review. And this is marketing. These are the basic, simple things that you do in the morning. When someone leaves you a Google review, you respond. Thank you, Jason. We were so glad you were happy with our pressure cleaning that we did for you in Savannah, Georgia. We hope to hear from you next year. Don't forget, we do roof cleaning, window cleaning, keyword. And Google loves it. Respond to every review and ask for a review from everybody that you do business with. We talked about some of those, like the follow-up emails and stuff like that. I put a link to our Google thing and just say, hey, every small business, thrives on reviews. And it's true. If you
I send that out 3 times in my email sequence after the follow-up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll text it to them too, because that's how I communicate with these folks. So I'll just text them, hey, leave us a review. Just try to make it as easy as give them a link.
Yep. I love it because honestly, these are stuff that doesn't cost anything. This is stuff that, you were talking about 5 minutes, but this 5 minutes is true. This isn't costing you anything other than 5 minutes,
Yeah.
So,
and if you're blogging or doing stuff like that, all of it can be used. The same content can be used across all social media and all spectrums. It's really good stuff.
You know, and don't just post the before and after, guys. This is something that, you know, post pictures of your guys. This is social proofing your business. If you and we can post pictures on our guys or our equipment of, you know, in Facebook and all of those things. You know, if it's just you, post a picture of you. I know a lot of guys don't like being. I don't like being on camera, but when you show up, they know who you are. They know everything about you at that point, and that's
And
what you want.
yeah, and trust is everything. It's a proven fact that most people, when they're looking for any service or a product, they're going to read the reviews. I do. When I go to Amazon and I'm buying something, I look at the reviews. If it's a 1-star review, I'm going on to the next thing. People trust reviews, and that's why it's so important to ask for reviews, get reviews every opportunity you have, because people want to do business with people that they trust. And those online reviews are huge. And I got bad reviews. You know, I've got bad reviews from competitors, from old employees, from customers where we screwed up. I take ownership. I try to resolve them so they take them down. But every once in a while you get a bad review. It is what it is. But if you've got a 4, 8, 4, you know, whatever, people dig that. And if you've got a lot of them, that shows consistency. That shows, hey, this guy's been around for a while.
And so like Scott said, I see it about Scott. That's why I said that. So like Mike said, you know, it is one of the things that if you get a 1-star review, turn lemons into lemonade. You know, make sure that you are going through and doing that kind of stuff, so that way it can, you know, if you got a 1-star review, obviously we want to get it off Google. If we can't get it off Google, then we got to work on the whole other side of things of trying to get it off of Google. But if it's just one of those pain in the butt customers, then that's where we need to deal with that at that point. You know, we need to deal with them on that side of that, so that way it can cause us to make us look better. Because, you know, I'll go look at 1-star reviews sometimes just to see if the company's going to fix their problem. Because if they have a problem and they didn't fix it, well, what if I have a problem? Are they going to fix that? And so that's why I like to do look at the 1-star reviews and see, you know, are they going to do anything to help me at the end of the day? Right.
Yeah, and then marketing goes beyond just what we do. It's you know, I'm going to plug Scott again, but he put out a video today about first impressions. He was cleaning his truck and just talked about that. And that's in my opinion essential. It doesn't have to be the best looking truck. It doesn't have to be the best looking trailer, but have some pride. Not only pride in yourself and how you look, but the equipment and the vehicles that you're driving. You know, you're a cleaning company. And so when I say marketing goes beyond just what I do, all my texts, whether it's the before and after pictures, whether it's how they greet a customer, that goes a long way too. They knock on the door. Hey, I'm so-and-so. What can we do? You know, is there any problem areas that you know about that you'd like us to take care of? Little things like that make such a difference. We always do a walkthrough as well. But, you know, branded signs, one thing that is, you know, I don't think it's old school, but always have a business card. Every single one of your texts should have a business card, because inevitably somebody's going to stop them and say, hey, you know, can I have some information? And give them a business card, say, call, you know, give this number a call, visit the website. Always have business cards.
You never know when that one business card is going to be the $10,000 job.
Exactly right. And it happens more than you think. Uniforms, even if it's something simple. I mean, you know, we buy a bunch of uniforms, but and ours aren't flashy. You know, I see the guys with like all the crazy, you know, stuff, and they're good looking, and I like them. I like my stuff just like the bandit signs, super simple. Website, phone number, logo, what you do. And what else? So company uniforms, I think, is good. You know, just looking sharp, presenting yourself well like that. And then all the texts have got the postcards, which they, like you said, the 5s, they hit the neighbors, around the house that they're doing. We don't leave signs in our customers' yards just because most of the neighborhoods that we work in, they're not allowed, but we will leave them across the street from the neighborhood. So, even before the HOA gets it, even if, 50 to 100 people see that sign, it's well worth it. Just that top of mind awareness, like they see that logo, maybe they Google pressure cleaning near me and they'll see my logo again and they'll say, oh, we need to do that. What else? Just having good techs that are good stewards of your business and your name, I think, is one of the best marketing tools you have.
That's good because, it said Scott speaks truth. Won a client once because Mrs. Jones didn't like the other guy cussing, and so, or smoking. I mean, I've had people call because the dude was smoking or call because they were cussing. I've had that complaint, and it's like, you try to tell them to quit it, but it's like sometimes they just don't got a brain up there, and so you have to deal with that stuff, And like I've said before, I've seen it a bunch this year. I've seen a good one here lately. And I seen it last year. The guy's got to pee and they go behind the air conditioning. Right there's the camera. And then she sends you a picture of the guy's junk and all that. It's like, this isn't a good view. And the other one was the camera across the street got the were roofers and he's over there peeing in the corner, and it's like, and then it went out on the Facebook group, and it's just like, as Powerhouse says, respect the property, absolutely. And he also said professional presence, absolutely 100%.
Yeah,
goes a long
100%.
way.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Tell me one thing that you failed in your business and the 3 things you learned from it.
My biggest failure is employee related. Trusting, and I think human nature, we want to trust. We want to think that people have our best interest and they don't all the time. I've bought vehicles for people. I've given people loans, and it's always come to bite me in the butt every single time. And these aren't expensive vehicles, but it doesn't matter. I'm trying to help a guy get to and from work and help his family, and then they disappear. And it's things like that hurt on a personal level, because like you're doing something for somebody else, trying to help, and then you get burned. I've learned from that, and I don't do that anymore. I'm a lot more trying to find the right people, because like I just said, these people, your employees, are stewards of your name and stewards of your company. And I tell the guys this all the time on my landscape business and my pressure cleaning business, and I'll point to the trucks and the trailers with my huge logo. And this is my logo. It's probably one of the most stolen logos in the pressure washing industry. It's a silhouette that was made from a picture of me. And so, I'll see these guys all over the internet. People send me pictures. Hey, this guy's using your logo. And I'll send them a nice message. I'm like, hey, that's trademarked image with the United States government. And no, my web guy got it for me. Well, it's me. Like, here's the picture of me and here's the logo that you're using. Can you please stop? But I think I tell the guys all the time, that's me on that truck, on that trailer. And the people in this community, they know that's me. Like, I'm the owner of this business and I put it out there, I don't need you guys disrespecting me, the business, what I've created, ultimately my family. Like, I try to emphasize that they are representing something bigger than just, someone out spraying bleach.
But they don't care. Employees don't care. I'm sorry.
I know, and a lot of employees don't care. I have been so blessed with some really amazing guys lately. And over the course of the past 20 years, I've had great quality, but we also get some folks that, that aren't that great, but
so what have you found the best way to find employees?
So I have been using pressure washing. I seem to be able to keep folks longer. On the landscape side of the business, I use Indeed. You kind of put in your parameters that you're looking for, and you say that you want somebody with 1 year of experience in landscaping, and I'll get a resume that says he's got 10 years, but he's been doing nothing but Wendy's and working in a warehouse, no landscape experience. So it's hit or miss, but I found some good guys from that. You got to weed through them and kind of do your research. So young people, please remember not to put stupid stuff on social media, because we do look for it, and I have not even called people because of some of the things that I've seen and what they posted.
That's a perfect example of, and that's not just true with this. This is true with anybody. Don't post
Oh
stupid
yeah,
stuff, guys, because if you want a job eventually, there's employers out there going to look. They're going to look you up and find you. And if you do
yeah,
stupid stuff, they're probably not going to hire you. And that is true all over. And so that is something that you have to be smart about it. At the end of the day, it's not being stupid is what it's not being.
exactly.
Um, let's see here. We had a question I seen somewhere, and I don't remember what it was, but we'll keep on going. Thanks for the super cat, Mr. Scott and Mr. Powerhouse. Again, if you all, Mike puts out a lot of good information on his channel down here below. Make sure you go down there and you subscribe to his channel. That way you will. I don't want to mute that one. I want to mute this because my back feeding bad still. Make sure you go down and subscribe to that channel. That way you will be able to get. He puts out quite a few videos. He gives away some stuff, and he definitely can help you grow your business too. It's not just about, he's been in business for 20 years, been doing it for a long time. And, I always say, you got to pay attention to where you get your information, because there is some people that put information that don't know what the heck they're talking about. They just learned it yesterday, and now they're going to tell you what to do. And so just be careful of that. And so this is a person that, like I say, has been in business for a very long time. He kind of, marketing is marketing at the end of the day. You have to do marketing. If you don't do marketing, again, it don't matter how much you spend on a rig, how well you pressure wash. It goes back to what I say. A pressure washing position is a $20 an hour position. A marketing position and sales position can pay $100 an hour task, $1,000 an hour task. And so we really need to work on those tasks than a $20 an hour task at the end of the day. $20 an hour task will only get us so far. If we really want to grow our business, we got to work on them $100 an hour tasks, and we got to work on them $1,000 an hour tasks. Because if we can spend our time doing that versus, well, what pressure washer do I need to downstream? Do I need to, downstream and X-jetting is better. No, downstreaming is better. No, this pump is better. Who cares? That don't make no money at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that makes, yes, you got to have it, but that makes no money. That does no good. It still takes that technician $20 that you're paying him to go make that money. Or if you're doing it, it takes you $20 to go do that versus working on some of the bigger stuff and the next level stuff. And so over the years, what was a fear that you had to overcome in your business?
The fear, I think, of failure. And that can be broken down on a couple levels. Having a couple different businesses and multiple employees and lots of fires in the irons in the fire. If you like when I lose a pressure washing technician, like out of the blue, someone doesn't give me, that's devastating. That is a fear, because that's an entire income stream that's now gone, and now you have to find somebody to replace that person. You have to train them. You have to get them up to speed on your systems, on the way you do things. And it's not like lawn care where you can just hire people that most people have been mowing lawns for their entire lives at their house or whatever. Pressure cleaning is a completely different animal. Even if you pressure washed a house before with a little Home Depot machine, it's not the same. and then you throw in the a big truck and a trailer and pulling that with all the weight. There's so many moving parts. It takes a lot longer to bring someone up to speed, and that's my biggest fear, and still is to this day, is losing people, especially good people.
What have you tried to do to keep them from leaving? What are some things that you have found that work? Because how long have you had employees? The whole time?
The entire time, yeah.
So, what are some things that you have found to help keep employees for longer tender or whatever you want to call it there?
Ultimately, I think being a good human is one of the most important things. Um, I think that pay incentivizes to a degree, um, but I'm not going to work for someone that I don't like. I'm not going to work for somebody that I don't think has my best interest in mind. I'm not going to work for somebody that says, "Hey, climb that ladder and do something unsafe." I'm never going to ask anybody to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And I think that being a good boss, I don't like that word, but I think taking care of your people is one of the best things that I've done in order to try to maintain employees for a longer amount of time. And you're going to lose people. People are going to move on, especially good people, which is unfortunate because those are the people that you really want. But the guys that are on this level, they want to be on this level, and they're going to achieve that. And that's why they're doing good working for me or working for anybody, because they've got that drive, they've got heart, they've got character, they've got the things that it takes to be successful.
Yep, I agree 100%. And and I know somebody said pay them good. Pay don't always mean everything either. I've paid
No, it
people
doesn't.
25, $30 an hour, and they'll still leave you just like the guy that you paid $15 an hour.
You're absolutely right.
but but being respectful of their time, and that does help go a long way, and it does make things help you to grow your business and
Yeah.
stuff. And
And the other thing is, uh, I have, over the years, sometimes you let your equipment go, and that's a huge source of frustration when a guy's trying to get stuff done and he can't get it done because the equipment you're providing him isn't allowing him to do what he needs to do. And so, that's why we've always got a backup trailer ready to go. That's why we've got, different pumps and whatnot on the shelf ready to go. Because it is frustrating. Even a rain day gets frustrating, and if not, raining doesn't necessarily slow us down on the pressure cleaning side of the business. It does on lawn care, but all those little roadblocks that come up is if I can try to make them smaller, more manageable, then that makes the employee his life and his job easier because he's not having to deal with things that don't need to be dealt with.
yeah, and employees, when you get to that stage, that's a fun stage. I mean, you'll be ready to pull your hair out.
Yeah. Well, I say if it wasn't for customers and employees, I'd love these businesses.
I don't mind the customers. You can deal with customers. You can fire customers a lot easier than you can
Yes,
fire employees.
that's true.
Employees, you got to find another one to replace them and do
Yeah.
it. And a lot of that I found that like you said, if you respect an employee and treat them as a human, don't become friends with them because that's a bad thing for you to do. And honestly, hiring friends and family members isn't good either. A lot of times that bites you in the tail at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've had good ones, and I've had ones that I was like, why did I do it? I know better. So,
Yeah.
um, so what? And this is a question I want to say here. If you treat an employee, somebody wrote here. If once they learn the business works and all the knowledge they need to do the jobs correctly, they will most likely want to start their own business and have
Good.
to work for them someone else. I agree on that to a point because again, it's kind of like what we were talking here. It's not about the pressure washing and the pressure washing side. Business is business. Mike was a businessman before he started this business. Mike was a business or in sales and that kind of thing. And yes, a good pressure washer usually most of the time aren't a good salesman at the end of the day. But now, is there people that will go out there and hire them? Yes. But if you, and it's all about what I found the biggest thing is it's all about kind of the team side of things. If I can bring them in on my team and make them feel feel like my team, and we put goals together, and yes, they're going to be my goals, and yes, they're going to be my, my company vision. And when we put that vision in there, and if they can come alongside of me and we can grow from my vision and they can see that they're a part of that, then a lot of times they are going to last a lot longer versus, yep, get out there and go clean houses. And I don't know why I'm cleaning houses. I just know I get a paycheck at the end of the day, and that's all I care. If they have that vision with you, then they will likely come, and then they will stay with you. When I sold the business, there was 3 guys that had been with me for 2 years, and they're still there. And it was one of those things that, they just, did they make a lot of money? They made a living, but it wasn't a lot. Did I make, and so that's where given them a vision to be able to come alongside of them and help them. And, a lot of times it's about being a human of see what their goals are. If they're wanting to buy a car, we're not obviously going to buy them a car because we know that's going to bite us in the tail. But maybe we set money aside as a bonus, and you know what, as a bonus, or maybe your employee wants to pay his debt off, and you can say, all right, here's a bonus, and I want to pay some of your debt off for you, or something along those lines to make that feel, kind of that. And in today's world, it's more about good job, good job. You like to hear you're doing a good job because that's why you're doing your 5-star reviews. They like hearing that they got a good job. They don't always want to hear, well, why did you kill that? Why did you kill this? But good job. You did a great job today.
Yeah, you nailed it. Feedback, both, and no one likes negative feedback, but positive feedback. There's nothing better when I get a text or an email or a review, and it specifically calls out somebody's name and like, hey, he did such a great job. He was so friendly. I'll screenshot it and I send it to him. And it doesn't add any more money to their bank account, but you know what? If you take pride in what you do, you deserve and you need to see those things.
And a lot of times you don't get that. A lot of times you just like, he's fine, and then he don't get that.
Well, and I've been caught up in that too in the past, where I'm like, I'm paying you, you're doing your job, but it's like I said, it's more about being a good human.
It gets hard sometimes, and I understand that, and I agree with you 100% because I hate it. I mean, I had anywhere from Christmas light, we were in the 15 people range, and it's like dealing with your kids that don't want to do nothing, so that's the fun time of it. So did you ever make your employees sign a non-compete with that's about as useless as the paper that's written on?
Yeah, they're completely useless. And you know what? I'm all about somebody trying to better themselves. I've had a couple employees that have gone out on their own. One guy, in fact, when he showed up, he was way overqualified. Really good guy, very smart guy. In fact, like the second day he was working, I was out there training him, and he goes, "Hey, I was looking at your website. The colors are bad." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, your colors are bad. They're all dark and gloomy." He goes, "You need to brighten it up. Like people want us." And I started thinking, I was like, "Oh man!" Like I got on my website and I was looking. I was like, "This dude's right. Like he's sharp. He's helping. He's doing a good job." He worked for me for a while. Excuse me. And then he actually moved away. And I just talked to him about maybe a month ago. And he'd actually reached out, and I don't know how, he didn't realize it was me, and was asking for help on, some maybe it was chemicals or something like that. And I was like, "Hey, is this the guy that used to work for me?" He's like, "Oh my God, yeah." And he's doing great. He's got a nice trailer, he's up in Oregon, doing a good job. And like, that makes me happy when people, they see what a great business this is, and they realize like, hey, I can make a good living doing this. More power to you. Now, don't take all my advice and my training and that, and try to come and compete, because then we're not going to be friends. But like you were saying earlier, it's not just having a pressure washer or a truck and some bleach, right? You can have all that and sit there if you don't have the marketing behind the business. And I will go head to head with anybody as far as sales goes, as far as marketing goes. And that's not being arrogant. I'm just confident that, I think I've got a pretty good handle on it. I know that if I talk to a customer, that 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to be able to close them. Maybe not that many, but I'll probably be able to close them. And I very rarely do. In fact, I can't count on my 2 hands in the past, say, 3 years, I've gone and done estimates in person, with the exception of commercial jobs, big stuff like that.
Are you just looking them up on Zillow to see kind of the square footage and Google and that kind of stuff, and then looking
Yeah,
at them
so
that way?
I use Google a lot, Street View, the aerial views, and then I do use Zillow, things like that. We work in probably like a 5-county area, and pretty much every one of those counties have got a Board of Assessors website. Now, I don't talk about this often, but I'm going to do it here tonight. If you guys don't know what that is, Google your county and the Board of Assessors. You'll be able to type in the property address. It'll pop up everything, usually a picture, a floor plan, the square footage, what they paid for it. I like it when I can pop it up and there's a Mercedes and a Jaguar in the parking lot and their price just went up. But these are great tools that are free to use. And I can sit right here 90% of the time and fill up schedules for months, because I don't waste my time, because time is the most valuable thing there is. You don't get that back. And if I can sell and close from this desk, I'm a happy man.
Yeah, and like ours will tell how big the deck is, how big the outbuilding is. It'll tell you everything about
everything
that
you need
house.
to know. Oh, it's awesome. And I've been doing this long enough to where I know that, a house this size, and you got pictures. I mean, even it's not telling you how dirty it is, but still, it's based on the size and the time it's going to take, and I've gotten pretty good at that. So I can do a lot of that, and of course I get burned a couple times, but you fluff up your price because there's that unknown variable.
No, we did the same thing. I never went to bid jobs. That's stupid, so.
Yeah. And that blows some people's minds, because they think you need to show up in your shirt, you need to sell them, you need to, do that hard sell with, all the little things you've watched online. And at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, make it as easy as possible. If someone can go to your website, click on your responsive bid, get a quote super fast, that's awesome. That's what they want. If they can schedule it online, if they can pay online, these are all things. And the other component that I think is probably one of the best things that we've done is when, how many people out there have said they're on the phone with the customer and they're like, yeah, well, we can be out there Tuesday at 11 a.m. Well, no, I have to work. Okay, well, unless you want to help, you don't have to be there. Oh, well, how am I going to pay you? Well, once the work is complete, you come home, you take a look and make sure everything meets your expectations. I'm going to send you an email, and it's going to have a link to where you can go pay. I can pay it online. Yes. Oh, this is the best. Like, people love that. They don't want to interact. They want to get their stuff done, and they want to pay you and be done with you.
And I love that, because you actually did a video on this, and it is perfect of what it is true of. People do not want to have to. They don't want to be on the phone. They don't want you coming to their house. It's about time. They want to know that you can do it. Yes, do we need to add a little here or there? Yes, but we don't need to say, we soft wash and we're the only soft wash people. They don't care about that. They want their house clean. That's what they want. They want, hubby didn't get it done. Now they want you to go get it done.
That's right.
And again, it's not about selling the pressure washing. It's about selling time, is what we're selling at the end of the day.
Exactly.
We are, as Kurt puts it, we are a customer service business that cleans windows. We are a customer service business that cleans houses.
Yeah.
All right. So if you started all over today, how would you do? What would your plan of attack be?
I would not buy a $40,000 truck and make a payment on it. I would not go buy a $30,000 pressure washing trailer and all this. And that's another thing. I have built myself every single trailer, screwing in the little eye bolts so I can mount my tanks, every aspect, the plumbing. And I've learned it all online or from, failing at doing it right the first time. The trailer that I inherited when I bought this business 100 years ago, very basic. It was just a pressure washer with a tank, a small little chemical tank, and it did the job. And that's exactly what I would do. Is I would buy something that gets the job done and focus and spend my energy and time. And even if you don't have any money, you don't need money for marketing. You can do everything online for super cheap. There's press releases that you can do for super cheap that help with your Google ranking. But I would go very, very basic, nothing flashy. I would build up my business because it's going to be it's the marketing behind the business that is going to make the business successful. And again, those customers, they don't care if you're soft washing, if you're using an electric pump, if you're using an air diaphragm. They don't know what they want. They want a clean house. That's why they're calling you. They don't Google soft wash pump or anything. They Google pressure washing near me, house washing near me. That's what they want. So provide them that service. Do an amazing job. And that's the other component. You have to do an amazing job. Go above and beyond. If someone hires you to do a house wash and you notice that their little concrete patio by their back door is nasty, clean it. Don't charge them for it. Don't say anything. They're going to notice and they're going to talk nice. And when someone says, "Hey, your house looks great," they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was all American. Mike did a great job. Here's his phone number." And that's invaluable, is word of mouth.
All right, so I'm going to debunk something here real quick because I don't like. But this is the question for you. But how do you upsell in person? How do you upsell, Mike, if you are because I know what you're going to say, because it's the best product out there to do it with. What is that, Mike?
Responsibility.
Yes, sell it before they even get there. That's an amazing thing to do.
And the other thing that I didn't touch on is when I do the online, like, so when I get a text that I've got a call and I've got all their information and typically it's, yeah, we need a house wash. So I'll look up their house, and while I'm looking at their house, I'm also going to see their driveway. I'm going to say, and I'll say, we can do your house for, $300. Your driveway is going to be an additional $150. We also do roof cleaning. We can look at that while we're there, So it's not like it's not just a one, all encompassing. We're upselling. And when my guys are there, if they see something and the homeowner's there, or if the homeowner's not there and they see something like the deck is green and it looks horrible, or their vinyl fence is, and so I'll have them FaceTime me or send me a picture or video, and I'll text that video or whatever it is to the homeowner, because they're usually at work. Not so much in the past 6 months, but I'll just send it and say, "Hey, we're there. We can do this for another $100 if you want to get it done." And 9 times out of 10, they're like, "I didn't even notice that. You're right." And yeah, if you're doing it in person, absolutely, you're going to be able to upsell better. But my time is and again, not being arrogant or anything, my time is way more valuable spent doing other things than going and doing in-person jobs where I might upsell something.
Driving 20 minutes each way. Well, if you're doing 5 counties, you're driving an hour each way.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do that. I can't. I don't have the time or the energy. I'm an old man.
And I like what old Scott said. We're not selling anything to the customer. We're solving a problem that they need it fixed.
That's right.
So,
my man.
So Scott is a cool guy. I'm supposed to have him back on. I kind of dropped the ball on you, Scott.
Well,
we'll have you back on again.
You better have him on in a hurry. He just had a heart attack.
I know he did. So,
but he's out there working. I like it.
I know it. I think he's getting back up on his feet fast, and he'll execute very well. So, all right. So I asked that question. I think that was all my questions for you. So Mike, thank you. Stay on a second. I'm going to get off here real quick. We're right at an hour, so I don't want to keep you any longer. We have to. Again, guys, if you want to go check out pressurewashhelp.com/free, it'll be a free 30 days into my membership where I go over a lot of the same stuff, but in detail, especially the marketing side, the Google My Business side, Facebook, everything like that. And plus, I do a Zoom call twice a month. I just did one just today, so if you want to go check it out, you can go check it out and that once you get in there. I'll see you all later. That was a terrible.